Hello students, this is the second part of session 2 here, and here I try to show you how to get the model file from a particular site, which is nothing but the Stanford University, where you could see that there is a download link. When you click on this download link, it opens up a sharing option, okay, where you can just directly download this particular kit, starter kit, and put it in your drive, okay. And the most important thing is that for the current simulation part, we want this particular model file with .sp extension, okay, where we will have our NMOS as well as PMOS transistors model description inside this particular file, okay. And later in the next session, we'll be using the other mat files that comes along with this particular kit, okay. And there are other functions that are being given, which is basically the lookup.m and the lookup vgs.m file, which we'll be using when we actually use this LUTs to create our designs, okay. Yeah, so I have already done downloading this, and now what I will show next is how to add this particular file into your design and then use it for our simulation in the Cadence. So here I have already kept the model file in the directory in which I am just going to invoke my Virtuoso, okay. So already it has been invoked in this particular directory, and the very first step that we have to do here is to first create library, followed by which we'll be creating the cell view. So let me first begin creating a library for us, and let me label this library name as something like AICD. And in this case, I'm just going to choose the fourth option, do not need process information, okay, and then click OK here. So once I've created the library, the next thing is to create a cell. So click on this file and then new and then cell view, okay. So right now, ensure that you are choosing your appropriate library from here, which is AICD in my case, okay, and then provide a name like a CS amplifier with restive load as RL, okay. So click OK, and this brings the schematic editor, and inside the schematic editor we'll try to get in some of the components, okay. Now we are going to get these components from analog library, okay, the NMOS as well as the PMOS transistors if it is required, okay. So what we do next is to click on this add instance menu and ensure that you go to the browse button and try to select the NMOS transistor, which is already available in our analog library, okay, and just enable this NMOS 4 option and then click close. So now what we do next is to give a model name here. Now in order to know what model name we have to give, we have to first open up the model file that I've shown before, okay. So I'm just trying to open this in a kind of notepad, okay, wherein you could see that the model name given here is basically NCH, okay, for the NMOS, as well as there is also one more model name, which is the PCH for the PMOS, okay. So we have to use these model names over here in order to make the tool to pick this particular PMOS and NMOS model information from here, okay. So since because it is written as NCH for the NMOS, I use this NCH and the width and the length parameter that we have to enter here, okay. So those are the values that we have already calculated from our graphs, okay. So I'll just pick those. So we want 83.73 micrometer for the width, so which I will enter here, okay. And for the length, we are using 270 nano as our length, okay. Click on hide and just try to fix these, okay, and then let us use this flip option, okay. Yeah, so having got this, the next thing is we also need a resistor, ground, and IDCs as well, okay. So what I do is I will just go here to the analog lib, try to pick the resistive component, and the resistance value is around 300 what was our resistance value? Yeah, it is 346.7. Okay, we'll use this 7 ohms, and just click on hide and put it over here. And the next thing is we need the other components like VDD. So pick it, put it here, and put one more here. And we are also in need of one more VDD. So let me just copy this. And we need a VDC to define the supply for the circuit. And let me have its value, DC value, to be 1.8. And we need grounds. So pick them and place them appropriately. And lastly, we need some capacitors. Okay, so one of the capacitor is going to be 5 pico, which is going to act as a output capacitive component. And we will also be using one more capacitor here to filter out all the AC component from the M1 onto our M2. Okay, so and we will also try to have a larger capacitance here. So in this case, I'll just go with 1 farad, and we also have to put a ground for this, and still we need to connect an IDC. So let me just pick it from here, and we want this DC value to be almost like 1.5 milliampere, so which is the value that I've fed here. And the next thing is the AC component, which you can pick it from the cell name, supposed to be V sign. Now in this case, we will be entering the DC value of this V sign to be 0 and the AC magnitude to be 1. Okay, so do not worry that whether our transistor will go out of saturation or something like that, or generally clipping kind of phenomena. Okay, so that type of clipping will happen when you enter the data in terms of amplitude. Okay, so we'll not worry about this amplitude part, just because we will be concentrating only on the AC analysis here. I'll try to show what happens when you try to feed in a value of 1 volt or something over here, okay, later. But as of now, we'll just hold ourselves with the AC magnitude being 1. Okay. Now, how does the simulation work when you have an AC magnitude of 1? Is that in general, in Cadence, the AC analysis works under the principle that the entire circuit is assumed to be linear across the given Q point. Okay, so you can even have a 10 volt, doesn't matter. Okay, so the circuit will show you an appropriate value out of it. Okay, and why we are entering a value of 1 volt is that what we are going to read as an output is going to be an V out. Okay, and that V out value is directly read as a kind of gain if the input magnitude is 1. Okay. Why? Because the gain is expressed as V out by V in, and if the value of V in is already 1 volt, then whatever we are reading at the output can be read as a gain itself, and that was the reason why we are feeding an AC magnitude of 1 over here. Okay, yeah. So with that explanation, let me try to take this. Maybe I have to rotate this. So I'm using this R key to rotate and try to ensure that it is connected towards the gate. Okay. Now let me complete this wiring part with W key being pressed. Yeah. So completing this entire structure, okay, we can just click on check and save, and after this we can perform a simulation on this, right? So click on launch, click on ADL, and we would end up having this as our screen. And in this, the very first analysis that we actually have to perform is a simple DC analysis. Okay, now I'm not going to pick any source here. Okay, this DC analysis is generally required to read about the DC conditions across the transistor. Okay, and that was the reason why, even though our main intention is to look at the AC response, still we will have to perform a DC analysis on this given circuit condition to read out the DC conditions that is available on these transistors. Okay, yeah. So I forgot one more thing. Basically, if at all, if I could label them, it will be easy for us to read it through the graph. Okay, so let me label the wire at the output as Vout and the wire that goes at the input of my gate as Vin. Okay, so again click on check and save and then come back here, and then I'm just going to enable two analysis here. One is the DC. So in this DC analysis, I will just enable save DC operating point. Okay, and I'm not going to pick any of these sweeping variables. We are not going to perform that. Okay, and after this I have to pick my output. So click on output to be plotted, select on schematic, select your Vout, press escape and get back here, and then just simply run this DC. Okay, I think yeah, so one thing that I forgot to do here is to define the model library, right? So I forgot that. So go back to ADE, click on setup, click on this model libraries, and disable this GPTK that already enabled here. Okay, so what you do is click on this browse button and pick this HUD-Spice model file that we have downloaded from this particular website. Okay, so pick that and click open, and there won't be any section here, so leave this section blank as it is, and ensure that you have enabled only that particular model file and disable any other model file that is enabled by default. Okay, just click OK, and once this is done, you just click on this play button, and it will not show up any kind of result for us, just because we are not sweeping any X variable here. Okay, the next thing is we also have to perform an AC analysis. So click on choose analysis, choose, and go to AC, and let us try to vary the frequency range from 10 Hertz all the way to, say for example, 10 gigahertz. Okay, so I've just given 10 G. So click OK, and now let us try to, so this sweeping expression will define the X variable, and we have got the Y variable here in the output section, and now when we go for plot, we end up having a graph for it. Okay, so clearly we end up having a graph which is reflecting the fact that we are getting a gain of 5.18. okay, so which is closer to 5.2. okay, the next thing is we also have to read out the bandwidth of the circuit. That we can do by clicking on this tools calculator, and then let me clear off everything. So choose this wave radio button, select this wave, and you could see that there is a kind of bandwidth option under the function panel. You can enable this bandwidth, and then you just go with the default option that is available here. Click on apply and evaluate this particular bandwidth. So you end up having a result of 98.16 megahertz, okay, which is a value that is closer to 100. Okay, yeah. So with this, we can complete the design, and I also wanted to show you how exactly to get the value that I have reflected in these operating conditions, right? So for this, what we have to do next is to go to ADE, click on result, go to print option, and then select the DC operating point. The moment you click on this select DC operating point, this particular window will automatically pop up, or you can just select this particular schematic window, and when you click on this transistor, you end up having this result. Okay, so clearly we can get to know our GM over ID value is 9.52, and the value of GM, which is supposed to be 15.7, but we are getting a higher value, which is 16.26, and also we can get to know the current DC current, which is IDS, which was 1.71 milliampere. Okay, so all of the DC conditions that we have across the circuit is also known, along with the small signal component like GM, GM over ID, and CGS, and other things that you can measure from this particular window. Okay. So with this, let me stop here, and Nitin sir will also try to show the same thing using an open source tool, okay, which is the LT Spice. Thank you.